right, but let's get stuck into today's lesson, which is exchange rates. Now, before we get to exchange rates, we're going to have a look at currencies. We all know what currency is, okay, and not cryptocurrency, actual money, not digital money, like the money that you draw cash from the ATM, that kind of money. All right, we're not looking at cryptocurrency. So I've got a table here, and I need you to help me fill this table in just to familiarize ourselves with some of the important currencies. There are lots of them. Obviously, every country has their own, but we're going to look at some that are important to us. So I need your help. The first one, South African Rand, I did that myself because it's easy. All right. But the second one here, all right. So we're looking at the second row now. I need you guys to help me to fill in this table here. The name of the currency is the Pula. The symbol is P. Which country has that currency, please? Let's go through this table and fill all this information in. Which country has the currency of a Pula, which is as a symbol of P? All right. Well done, Bianca. Botswana, Lesedi, good guess. Yes, Lesotho has got their own currency. The Pula, Botswana Pula is the one we're looking for. Very good. Okay, so Botswana, let me write that in.
I see Refilwe has a hand up, so I'm going to quickly unmute in case they want to say something.
Sure.
Refilwe, there we go.
Refilwe, yes?
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
So I got the answer wrong. I said Lesotho.
Oh, it's okay. That's fine. You see, that's why you often hear me in the lesson, if you've been in this lesson, say, oh, the speed is good, but is the quality good? So sometimes when you go fast and it's like a race and you're trying to get an answer in, sometimes you can make mistakes, but it's fine. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes often. Just ask here. All right, she's counting. She's got a list of all my mistakes there. Okay, don't worry, really. Not a problem at all. You're gonna get the rest. You're gonna get lots of others that are gonna come up here. Do you want to try the next one? Rafilia, you still with us? You want to try the next one?
Yes.
All right. Which country has a currency that has the name pound, and that is the symbol there?
Europe.
It's somewhere in Europe. You're right. Who has got the pound?
British.
Very good. All right. So we'll say Britain. Britain. All right. Good. Thank you, Rafile. Thank you. Well done. Good answer. Thanks for that. Okay, Olibacheng, UK. Now, UK stands for United Kingdom, and that could actually be Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland. Yeah, actually, you're right. The UK will have the pound. Scotland and Wales also have the pound. Now, the Northern Ireland parts of the UK, which is part of the UK, they've got the pound, but the rest of Ireland has their own currency, which is part of Europe. They're also the euro as well. So Germany. Germany is a country, and it's got, the answer's already coming in. There we go, euro. Okay, so Germany is a European country, so they will have the euro. A lot of European countries have that currency. All right, United States of America. Now, I know you guys are typing. I'm sure you got the sign there. The symbol for the dollar. The symbol for the dollar, please. There we go. Well done. Opelo, well done. Olibacheng, good job. The symbol for the dollar. Okay, so it's an S with two lines going through it like that, or in fact, one line. All right. One line going through it. I'm sure it's two. I'm sure it's two. I don't know why the keyboard has one. I'm sure it's two. Yeah, I'm sure it's two. Okay. All right, next one. Now we're getting a little bit more difficult. The name of the currency is the yuan, and the symbol is CN with a funny Y. China, good, very good. China, so the yuan. China has that currency, very good. And then the one underneath it, now you see here, these two have the same symbol, very interesting. So the name of this one is yen. All right, very good. Japanese yen. So this symbol for China and Japan is actually very, very simple. In ancient Asian times, like thousands of years ago, they used a very similar alphabet. So apparently the symbol for their currencies is very similar. So that's why they have to put a CN. For China, they have to put the CN in front because the symbol for the Japanese yen and the Chinese yuan is the same. So they have to put CN in front of it. Okay, very good. Rubble? No, not rubble. Ruble. Russia. That's it. That's it. Good job, Russia. So the Russia has the ruble. And the last one, India. We've got this funny R here at the bottom. Rupee. Very good. Well done. Good job, guys. The rupee. Okay. Good job. Well done. Okay. So these are the symbols and the names for all the currencies that we are most familiar with. There are a lot more, obviously. A lot more. But these are the ones that we really spend most of the time working with. And you often see these in exams. Interestingly, though, if you look at the euro, I'm sure the dollar has those two lines as well. All of these here, their symbol has two little lines going through them. I don't know if you can see that, but each of these currencies has two little lines. I know the pound only has one, but all the rest have got two little lines going through that letter. Very, very, very interesting. Okay. All right. So those are the currencies that we often get to see and that we often work with in math literacy. All right. If you want to take a screenshot of that, you can, just to remind yourselves, but I'm sure you guys are familiar with all of that. Yes. We just need to phone you guys if we don't know what the currency is. Get you all on WhatsApp and then just send messages. Well done. All right. Let's go to exchange rates now. Okay. Now, there's something I want to talk about here because the word says rate, exchange rates, but then I've got this other word here, ratio. Okay, so that's something we need to highlight, rates and ratios, okay, and the difference between the two. But often, in fact, in the old days, exchange rates used to be expressed as ratios, right? In math literacy, they often still represent exchange rates as ratios, okay? And remember, ratios are usually written as 1 is to something. So 1 is to something over here. Okay, so you often see exchange rates written in the same way, okay? But now the word rate is a special word. Who can tell me an example of a rate that you know in math literacy? When they talk about a rate, can you give an example of when they use the word rate to express some kind of units? Who can give an example of a rate besides currency? These are exchange rates or currency rates, but are there any other rates that you know in math literacy? Anyone? Rates? Any other rates that you know? Speed, Sonia, that's the one I was looking for. Okay, so speed, rate of change of movement, distance per hour. There we go. Good job. All right. So speed also is expressed as a rate. And we express speed often in kilometers per hour. Okay. Now this is a relationship. Time. Yes, so this speed here has a time part and a distance part here. Okay, there is time in this. So this rate here, why do they call kilometers per hour a rate though? Why don't they just call it a relationship or something like that? There's something special about that. So if when you talk about a rate, the second unit in this little thing that I've written here, kilometers per hour, that is always expressed as 1. So in this case here, it's how many kilometers per 1 hour. Okay, so if someone gives you a speed, let's say, for example, 120 kilometers per hour, which is the maximum speed on the highway, national roads, okay? 120 kilometers per hour. That means you're going 120 kilometers per 1 hour. So rates are always expressed as a certain change for 1 unit. Okay. You could say the water drained out of a tank at so many liters per minute. Let's say 5 liters per minute. That's 5 liters for every 1 minute. So rates are special in that they're a relationship that has two comparing units, but the one unit is always expressed as one. One of the units will be expressed as a unit of 1 per 1 hour, per 1 minute. Okay, so rates are special like that. So exchange rates also act in the same way. Okay, so I'm going to erase this rate of speed here at the top and look at the ratio now. So in this ratio here, I've written 1 is to something. We do get ratios written in other ways. We can get a ratio written like this: 2 is to 3. That's also a ratio, okay? But often we want to write ratios as 1 is to something because it's always easy to compare one of something versus how many of the other thing. Okay, so we often express ratios as 1 is to. Who can remember where else we saw a very important ratio that was always expressed as 1 is to something? There was another topic in math literacy, we didn't term 1, where the ratio always was 1 is to something. Can you remember which topic we were talking about when you had to use a ratio? There was always 1 is to something. Sakile, yes. Sakile. Yes.
Okay.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
Good to meet you, sir.
Good, thank you.
Isn't it 1 centimeter per square or something?
You actually spoke to me about this. Remember that? You actually helped me with that question.
Yeah.
You did. You did. That's why you're saying 1 centimeter is to. Okay. Then we had a question where it was 1 is to, I think it was like 50.
50 kilometers, I remember, sir.
Oh, it was units. Do you remember the topic?
It was something of, wasn't it measuring? Maps.
Maps, yes, it was maps. Very good. Well done, Sonia. Jenny's bat is bat.
You got the name wrong. It's Sakile.
Oh, did I say? Oh, sorry, did I say Janu? No, I'm saying Janu's saying in the chat vat.
Oh.
But Janu's writing the vat. Well, thank you, Sakile. You're absolutely right. Okay, so it was the maps. It was the map topic. Where we wrote the ratio as 1 is to something. So it was 1 centimeter is to 50 centimeters or something like that. Okay. So that ratio had to be written in that special way. That 1 centimeter represents 50 centimeters. Okay. So exchange rates also need to be expressed in that way. It's easier when they're expressed in that way to use them. Okay. So when we talk about exchange rates, we're always talking about one currency versus another currency. But you've got to have one of the one currency on the left and then anything you want on the right hand side. So it's always in your comparison, one of the currencies will always be changed to a 1. That's what you need to know. Sometimes you're going to get 1 is to 17, or you might get 1 is to 0.5, something like that. Welcome, Domingos. So you're going to get always a 1 in your comparison, which is important. Okay. It's easy to compare things when you have a 1 when you're comparing. All right. So we're going to try and make sure that we always have 1 in our comparison. All right. So exchange rates can be written in the ratio form. Often in math literacy, you will see them written in the ratio form. But these days, for you guys, it's so easy for you to pick up an exchange rate because you guys have, most of you have cell phones, you have Google, and you just say, Google, what is the exchange rate of the US dollar to the South African rand? And Google will give you something that looks like this. Okay, so this comes straight from Google. I did this a couple of days ago, and that was the exchange rate at the time that I did it. So Google says to me, 1 United States dollar equals. Now they use the word equals. You could say is to or represents 17.93 South African rand. So Google will actually give you the exchange rate expressed like this. And notice again, the number 1. Okay, so one of the one currency compared to something of the other currency. Okay, so let's write this exchange rate in the ratio form. It's very easy. So we're going to have $1 over here, and then is to 17.93 South African rand. Okay, now let's try and understand what this actually says. It says that if you have $1 American in your hand, it is worth the same as 17.93, almost 18 rand. Let's call it 18 rand. Your $1 American is the same, it's worth the same as 18 South African rand. Okay, which in South African terms is not really a good thing, because we have to collect 18 rand to get $1 American. We have to, it's not even 1-to-1. In the old days, when I was your age or even younger, the exchange rate was a lot different. It was like 1:3. So $1 was equal to 3 South African rand in those days. So we only needed to get 3 rand to make $1. Okay, so we had more buying power in those days. But the exchange rate has changed to this now, where it's almost 18 rand to buy $1 American. They will not give us one unless we have 18 rand. Okay, so we need a lot more rands to get one of their American dollars. Okay, so this is what the exchange rate for $1, and I'll put the signs here on top, to almost 18 rand at the moment. This is a recent exchange rate from Google. Okay, so this is a ratio in the, sorry, an exchange rate in the ratio form. All right, so I could ask you a question. Let's create a space here and ask you guys a question to see if you know how to use this ratio in its form like this. So here's the question. I need to get $10. All right, I'm going to America and there's something I want to buy there. I need to get $10. I'm going to use the current exchange rate as is written there. How many rands do I need to get $10? How many rands do I need to get to collect together to get $10? All right, you shouldn't even need a calculator for this one. Yes, Sonia, good job.
I see Sakile has a hand up, so I'm going to unmute her in case she wants to say something.
Okay, Sakile.
You'll see a pop-up on your screen asking you to unmute.
Sakile, you with us?
Or maybe it was a hand raised from earlier.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's from the hand
Yeah.
raised earlier. Okay. All right. Yes, the answer's on the board. Well done, Dave. Good job, Menzi. Yes, there we go. Watandwaya, good, good, good. All right, you didn't really need a calculator for that. So there on the screen, I'll show you for $10. This is the relationship. 1:17.3. What math am I actually doing? Well, what I'm doing is I'm saying, what do I need to do to get my $1 to $10? I had to times it by 10. I've got to do the same thing on the other side. I've got to times that by 10. So it's 17.93 rand times 10. We don't need a calculator for that. We can see that it's just 179.30 rand. Okay. All right. Here's another question. Cross multiply. Do you want to explain to us how you did that?
Let me see.
Olebogeng, do you wanna?
Hello, sir.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Good, man. All right, explain to us. What do you mean by cross multiply?
So the question was how many rands for $10, right?
Yes.
Yes. So what I did was I put $10 beneath the $1, and then I cross multiplied. Was it like
Oh, I see
17?
what you did. I see
Yeah.
what you did. I see what you did. So you looked at those two numbers and you said
Yes.
multiply.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Absolutely. Well done. Good job. All right. So what he's saying is however the one changed to get to 10, that 17 needs to change by that number there as well. All right, good. So he's cross multiplying those two numbers to get your answer. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Well done. Good job. All right. So here comes another question. Here comes another question. And guys, just remember, if at any point you're not sure, please raise your hand and we can talk about it. Okay. Don't walk away from the lesson not being sure. Okay, we need you guys all to be sure what's happening. All right, here's a question. Let's say I've got 150 Rand. I've collected 150 Rand together and I'm going to America. And I want to know when I get there, because I'm changing into US dollars when I get to America. I want to know how many US dollars I have if I've got 150 Rand. Oh, these guys are fast. The speed is good.
But is the quality good?
But is the quality good? What's Dwyer? Yes.
You should see a pop-up that's asking you to unmute on your screen.
Unmute.
There we
That's
go.
what, there we go.
Okay. I wanted to ask, please can you repeat the question because I didn't understand it.
Okay, sure, no problem. Thanks for asking that. So I'm saying, this is the exchange rate. $1 US is 17 Rand 93, and I have 150 Rand. How many dollars will that get me?
Uh,
How are we going to work that out?
Oh my God.
You're nervous now, Shane. Well, think about it like this. Think about it like this. You've got 150 Rand, right? But now let's call it 18 just for it, make it easier. I want to know how many 18s I have in 150 Rand. What calculation can I do to get that? How many 18s I have in 150 Rand? How will I find that out?
Oh my God.
Will you times or divide? If I say I've got 100, if I say I've got 100, I want to know how many 20s are in my 100. Do I times or do I divide?
You divide, right?
Very good.
Yeah.
That's it. Well done. Good job. Good
Okay.
job.
Okay. 17.
All right, we're going to divide. All right, and like we see there, we get 8,365. Okay. Thank you, Olebogeng. Well done. All right, so we get 8,365. Then we're going to round up to 2 decimal places. So that's second decimal, which is a 6. We check, will it change? Look at the second decimal there. It's a 6. In fact, I'll make this a bit bigger. I'll make this a bit bigger for you guys. I've got this little pop out there. Maybe that's a bit better. So we're looking at the 6 here. And will that 6 change? The number next to it is 5 or more. Yes, it will change. That's going to be 8,37. Okay, so it's 8,37. So we're going to get 8,37 US dollars for 150 Rand. Okay, the math we did, I'll write it here at the bottom. We said 150 divided by 17,93 equals 8,37. And Kia's screaming on the other side. I can see it because I haven't put any units. Oh my gosh.
You know me so well.
All right, let me make space and put units. Okay, guys. Always show your units. 150 Rand divided by 17 Rand equals 8,37 US dollars. All right, good job. Okay, well done. Well done, guys. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty now. Okay, so we understand how exchange rates works. We understand how they expressed in a ratio form. We know how to work with them. Okay, there's another way that they often give you exchange rates. It's in the table form. All right, so I've got one here. And I'm going to explain how it works, and then you guys are going to do some questions. Okay, so let's see how this table works. So on the left here, we've got currencies. We've got US dollars, Great British Pound, Euro, and South African Rand. And on the top, we've got the same currencies, dollar, pound, euro, rand. Okay, so let's learn how to read this table. So you read from the left. Okay, so I'm going to draw from the left. So if I want to know how many rands for US dollars? I say one on the left, one of these currencies, one US dollar, and then I go across to the rands. Okay, and you'll see over here, one US dollar gives me 18,29. This is today's exchange rate. So the 17,93 was a couple of days ago. This is today. It's changed already. All right. So you read from the left currency and then you go across to the right looking for the currency you want to change to. Okay, I'll do it again. I'll do it again. I'll do a different one. I'm going to say how many South African Rand for one British pound. So I go on the left here to the British pound, and then I go across and I find the South African Rands. There they are. So it's 22 Rand 73 for one British pound. Remember, exchange rates are always compared to one of the currency. Okay, to a one unit of the currency. Okay, let's say, for example, you want to know how many British pounds you can get for a 1 euro. Okay, so for 1 euro on the left, how many British pounds? So I go across. Here are the British pounds. Okay, so that's how many British pounds I can get for 1 euro. Okay, so you start from the left and you move across and find the one you want to convert to. Okay, I hope you guys understand the table. Just remember, if you have any questions, you must raise your hand so that you can ask us and we'll go through it again. Okay, so you start on the left. It's one, I'll write here, one of these is to however many of the currencies on the right hand side. Okay, you will notice that we've got a one, a one, a one, and a one going down. That's because if you go across, for example, if you go euros, look at the euros, and I say 1 euro is how many euros? Well, 1 euro is 1 euro. That's why there's a one there. Okay, so you're going to get these ones. You can ignore these ones. We're not going to use them. We're going to use everything else. Okay. All right. Here's my question to you. Let's look at the US dollar for now. Okay. So the US dollar, and let's compare it to the British pound and then compare it to the euro. Okay. So 1 US dollar on the left, you start on the left, and then you go to British pound. You get 0.8. Now let's try and understand that. If you had to write the ratio, it would be 1 is to 0.8. And I'll put the units up top here, all the symbols. Okay, and the British pound is like that. It's just 1. In fact, I'm sure in the old days, Kim, maybe you can remind me. I'm sure the dollar and the pound always had 2 lines in it.
The dollar, yes. The pound, I'm not too sure.
You see how the dollar's lost a line.
Maybe it's a sign of it losing its
Yeah,
value.
they've done something. They've lost the line. It always used to be 2. It's funny. I remember in the cartoons when I was small, there was always 2. Anyway, let's not get distracted. All right. So looking at our table, $1 gets you 0.8 British pound. $1 gets you 0.8 British pound. Here's my question to you tonight. Which currency is stronger and why, looking at my ratio? Which currency is stronger for 1 mark, and for 2 marks, why, looking at my ratio? Who can tell me? Now, guys, please don't just start typing sentences. Talk to us. Paul, all right, Paul wants to talk to us. And Paul, don't you want to explain to us why you said that? Paul, don't you want to turn your mic on and explain to us why you said that?
We have 2. Which one?
I think it's Lasesa.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul, you should. There we go.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Tell me, why did you say British pound?
I think it's British pound because when it comes to South African rands, it now becomes more.
Ah, now that's very clever. Okay, very clever. So he's looking at how many rands he can get for the British pound and how many rands he can get for the dollar, and using that to say, oh, the British pound is stronger because you need a lot more rands to buy one. Very good. That is a good way of looking at it. Okay, Paul, thank you very much. Good job. Good job. Okay, if we have to look at this ratio, does anyone else want to explain by looking at the ratio 1 is to 0.8? And Paul's reason is valid, absolutely valid, and he'll get his marks for that for sure. Tapelo.
You should see there we go.
Hey Tapelo,
Hello?
how are you? I'm
Hello.
good, and you? I can hear you.
Okay. I think the British pound, not the dollar is stronger because when you translate the dollar to British pounds, it is less. So, like, if we have $10 and we translated that to pounds, it'd be less than the $10.
Okay, you're right. Let's try that. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so if we had to do $10, we'll get 8 British pound. And you're saying because of that, the dollar is stronger. Ah, very interesting. Anyone else? Very interesting. Okay, I like your reasoning there. If you have 10, then you're only going to get 8. Okay. Anyone else? No one else.
Somebody.
Somebody.
Anybody.
Anybody.
Somebody.
Where's Bianca, Sonia? Where's all these people?
Yeah, Bianca had her hand up not so long ago.
Bianca, you don't want to talk now? Oh, everyone's shy now. All right. So, if you think about it, let's use the 10 and the 8 ratio there. All right. If you think about it like this, for a British person to buy $10 US. Okay, Tapelo's sticking to his answer. For a British person to get $10 US, if it was the same strength, then that person would need to have 10 British pounds to buy 10 British dollars. Okay, if the currencies were the same, it would be 10 is to 10. Okay, but in this ratio here, the British person doesn't even need to get 10. They only need to collect 8 and they'll get 10 US dollars. All right. What if the ratio was like this? What if it was 10 is to 2? And on the right-hand side would be British pounds. And on the left here, British dollars. That would mean that the British person only needs to take out 2 of their British pounds and he or she will get 10 US dollars. So we could change it to 3. 10 is to 3. The British person still doesn't need to get all 10 pounds to match the US person. He's only pulling out 3 pounds out of his pocket to get $10. Okay. It's only when the number on the right, the pound, is at 10 that the currencies are the same strength. When the British person wants $10 and has to pull out 12 of his pounds to get $10, now that pound isn't as strong anymore. Okay, now the US dollar is actually a little bit stronger. All right. Okay, so you've got to think of it like that. Now, it's not easy just to look at the ratio and say, you've got to think carefully about that. How much do I need to buy that other currency? So if we look at this ratio right now, 1 is to 0.8. The pounds, the British person doesn't have to spend £1 to get $1. He only has to pull out 80 cents and he's buying $1. So that British person is actually smiling. He doesn't have to get £1 out. He only has to get 80 cents out and he can buy $1 US. Okay, so the British person is smiling here. Their currency is actually doing a little bit better. Now, if we had to change this to rands, it's a sad story. Us South Africans have to collect 18 rand and 29 cents just to get $1 US. So our currency is actually a lot weaker than the US dollar. Okay, so in our table here, when we have one of these currencies, okay, and we are seeing 0.8, 0.88, 0, let's not look at the rands, 0.92 here. Those little numbers, they mean those currencies are actually stronger. Okay, because you don't have to pull out a whole number to buy one of these ones on the left here. Okay, so you've got to think very carefully about how the ratio is expressed, and then you'll understand which currency is stronger. So think about it like that. I have one of the one currency, and how much do I need to buy that other currency? Well, if you've got 0.5, you don't need much. You need 50 cents to buy one of those currencies. If you need 6, well, you need to get 6 of yours to buy one of theirs. Okay, you can think of it like that. And it helps to have the symbols above like that to make sense of the situation. All right, so this is our table. We are now going to answer very simple questions. You guys will find this easy, but the most important thing is to understand how the table works. All right. So let's go to question 1. It's time for you guys to work. Question number 1, I hope you can see it at the bottom. It says, Charlotte has saved £100. The phone she wants to buy costs 900 Rand. How much money will she have left in British pounds after buying the phone? So there's a transaction that happens. She takes the 900 Rand and she tries to buy this phone with £100. Okay, first of all, let's check. Can she even do it? Because I don't think that she'll even be able to do it. So we're going to check how many pounds you're going to get out of 900 Rand. And if she can, will she have any left and how much that is? All right, so the step number 1, can she buy the phone with 900 Rand if the phone is £100? Step number 2, will she have anything left? All right, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to try that one. Step number 1, can she buy the phone? 900 Rand, will it give her £100? If so, how much will she have left over if she does have anything left over? So you got to check how many pounds you get, and then it's a yes or no. Oliver King, very fast. Sonia saying yes, she can. Oliver King saying yes, she can. CP Menzi all saying yes, 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 she can buy the phone. I hope you guys are saying yes, she can buy the phone, or yes, she's going to have some money left over. I hope you did a calculation to back that up. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so we need to find out how many pounds is in 900 rands. Okay, Bianca, so if you look at the first part of this question here, that's what we're going to focus on now. Charlotte has saved £100. The phone she wants costs 900 Rand. So will her £100 be enough to buy it for 900 Rand? So we're going to change her £100 into 900 or into rands and see if she has enough. So she's got £100 that needs to change into rands. Okay, so we're going to use the exchange table here. So we're going to take our pounds, which is here on the left, £1. And we go all the way across to the rands, and we can see there are 22,73 rand. So £1 is 22,73. So I'll write the ratio out for you. So 1 is to 22,73. But she has 100. So how many rands will that give her? Okay, so like someone mentioned earlier, you can just multiply. So we can say 100 times 22,73, and this will give us, we shouldn't need a calculator for that, but let's just show it to you guys anyway. 22,73, 2273. So she's got more than enough money. The phone's 900 rand. Her £100 gets her 2,273 rand. Then how much money will she have left over? All right. How much money? She can afford this phone because she's got 2,273 rand if she's got £100. How much will she have left in British pounds? Ah, Sakila, you divided. So we're going from pounds to rands to check if her £100. How many rands will she have from her £100? And if she has enough to get a phone that costs 900 rand. Ah, sure. Who's that with the answer? That's a fast one. Wazi. Okay. So now we've got the rand value. She's got 2,273 rand, which is more than enough for the phone. So let's take the phone value away from that because she's going to buy the phone. So we're going to subtract the 900 rand and see what we have left. Okay. So take away 900 rand. This is how much money she's got left. 1373. 1373. All right. Now the question says, let's look at the question. How much money will she have left in British pounds after buying the phone? Okay. Well, we don't have British pounds. Very good and Paul. Good. We don't have, Sonia's got a pound there. We don't have British pounds. We got rands. We need to convert back into pounds. Now, how do we do that? Well, let's look at our ratio at the top here. There's our ratio at the top, and I'll put currencies here. That's rands. This is pounds. For every 22,73 rands that I have in my 1,373, that's £1. So how many 22,73s do I have in my 1,373? I got to divide now, okay? I've got to divide now. So I take this 1,373 and I divide, I cut it up. I want to see how many 2273s I have because each one of those is a pound. All right, so divide that by 22,73. 60,40475. Second decimal is a 0. 4 will not change it, so it's 60,40 pounds. Okay. There we go. Good stuff. Well done. The answer's coming in now. Good. All right. Let me walk you through it again. Let's look at the question. Remember, the math isn't that difficult. All we're doing is times and dividing here by 22,73. The math is not hard. We've got times, divide, and subtract. It's understanding the question. Okay, so let's look at the question again one more time and see why we did what we did. Charlotte has £100. She wants to buy a phone that costs 900. Does she have enough? We changed the pounds into rands. That was this step here. And we see she's got lots of rands. She's got 2,273. Okay, because we times by 2273, we got 2273. Then we take off the phone money. She buys the phone for 900 rand, which is this step here. This is how many rands she has left over. Now, the question didn't say how much will she have left in rands. They said how much will she have left in pounds. So we've got to convert those leftover rands back into pounds, but this time we're going to divide. Okay, we want to know how many 22 rand 73s do I have in this money? Because each one is a pound. So you divide and you get 60,40 pounds. All right, so 3 steps to get to our answer over here. All right, good job to all those people that got it. We're going to end off with a real easy one. Nice and easy to end it off. Question 2. Question 2. Paul received a gift of 20 euros. Now you guys have to know the symbols, all right? If the table has a symbol, you're okay, but that's euros. How many South African rands can she buy with 20 euros? Nice and easy. I'll go up to the table. Okay. So if we have to use our table, we've got 20 euros. How many rands is that? So here's the euros. You got to go all the way across to the rands. Okay. So it's an easy calculation. She's got 20 euros. How many rands will that be? Nice and easy to end it off tonight. 20 euros. How many rands will that be? $399. All right, good. Let's do the calculation. So we've got 20 euros and we're going to multiply by 19.95 because every one of those euros is 19 Rand 95. She's got 20 of them. That'll give her 399 Rand. Okay, good job. Yes, well done. Nice and easy. Okay, guys and girls, I hope you can make a little bit more sense of exchange rates now. If anything, I can say, please try and think of exchange rates as a ratio. It's easier to work with them as a ratio in table formats or any other way. Try and think of a ratio and take it from there because you guys are pretty good at working with ratios. All right. Any questions before we say goodnight? Are we all good?
Speak now, don't forever hold your peace.
Speak now, don't hold your peace. All right, there we go. Good job. Okay, before you rush off, Kaya's going to put on the poll, and then we'll let you guys go have your ice cream. And Paul, we have a class every Tuesday and Thursday, so the next class is on Thursday. Lebogang, how cold is it there? Too cold for ice cream. I've never heard anything like that. I live in Durban though. Is it cold, cold? And Paul, the topic on Thursday will be on how to express things like cell phone contracts, banking fees. It's like fee structures, payment structures, like banking fees, cell phone contract payments. Okay, Rudaput is cold. So fee payment structures, we're going to be working with those. And then after that, we're going to move on to personal finance. And we're not just personal budgets, we're going to look at salaries, personal salaries, salary slips. And then we're going to move on to tax, personal tax. Will they give us exchange rate tables in the exam? Good question, Sakila. So sometimes they give it to you in a table format, like this one. And so it's important to understand how the tables work. Once you guys know how the tables work and you get the ratio from there, it's very easy. Often they give it to you as a ratio or they write it in a sentence like $1 is to 18 Rand or equals 18 Rand, like you saw Google did. Sometimes they give it to you like that. Often in a ratio or a table format. That's how they give it to you. Well, that's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear. All right, so we'll see you guys on Thursday. And we're going to do Bianca, yes.
Let me quickly unmute you. There
Yes,
we go.
Bianca.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Earlier on, you said that it will be easier if we used in ratios for question 2. So I wanted to ask, how do we do it?
Okay, good question. I'll quickly do it for you. Good question. So if I'm not mistaken, your question is, how it's easier to use a ratio when you answer these questions. How do we do the ratio for question 2? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So 19.95. So let's build the ratio. So €1 is to 19.95 Rand. So I'll put the symbols there as well. I'll put rands there and I'll put euros there. Okay. And from here, they say the person has 20 euros. How many rands will they have? So what we're doing is to the euros is we're changing it from a 1 to 20. And the math that we did there to get it from a 1 to a 20, we had to times by 20, right?
Yes.
1 times 20 is 20. So on the right-hand side, we must do the same thing. So the math you have to do is 19.95 times 20.
Which is 399.
Which is 399. That's it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, pleasure, no problem. All right, ladies and gents, time to go. Hope you all have a
Paul
good
has a
evening.
question as well.
Yes.
Hi, Paul. Do you want to
we are
say
given-
something?
Yes. So if you
Yes.
are given 20 here, we change this €1 to 20.
Yeah.
Then you cross multiply.
Yes. So that when you say cross multiply, yes, the 20 gets multiplied with 19.95.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
covered. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Pleasure. Kwezi, to answer your question, we cover a specific topic every time we meet on a Tuesday and a Thursday. We can't cover a topic based on a user's request unless it's relating to the topic covered in that lesson. So, for example, if we're doing finance next on Thursday and it's banking fees, and maybe you heard something in class and you want to ask a question about the banking fees, yeah, sure, it's no problem. But we can't answer questions about personal work. Otherwise, if we have 50 students, we'd be answering 50 questions about personal work, so we can't really do that. So it has to be related to the topic that we cover in the class. If there's a topic that you're not sure about, I suggest going to the Watobe YouTube channel and look at the lessons there. There are headings. So there's map work, there's measurement, there's finance there, specific topics. And you can actually go through the list and see the topic that you're not sure about. You can go onto that video and have a look at it. Okay, otherwise the questions that we deal with in this lesson have to be related to the content that we're teaching in the lesson. Okay, I hope it answers your question. Yes, so the work we're writing now is basically what you are going to be doing in the beginning of term 2. It does change slightly depending on the school. Some schools don't start with finance, some schools do, but we're trying to keep it according to the curriculum. So yeah, we are trying to match the term 2 work of finance. All right, but we will cover everything in the term and everything in the year eventually. So by the end of the term, by the end of the year, you will have covered everything in these online classes because we do match the curriculum. All right. Guys, we're going to have to say goodbye.